Hey everybody, Dimitri here with Serg Supply, and today we're going to go toward this brand new Sprinter 144 high roof. Let's dig right in. As with any full build walkthrough with Serg Supply, we're going to start here with the floor. This is very exciting because this is one of the first fans we'd installed the new Rigwell stow step. So this guy is ready to stow away your gear. We've got two different compartments here. Either one of them can be changed with key style locks, so you can lock them. And we've got a beautiful 120 volt power receptacle here. So if they want to cook outside or do, I don't know, string lights, something fun, they totally can. This actual step extension kit from Rigwell, again, the stow step, it comes with this beautiful powder coated aluminum cover, and that keys in perfectly to our threshold kit. If you're curious on the floor, this is the same floor pattern we use in our van and a lot of our other builds. This is the Lawn Coin Flex 2. It's the onyx color. It's like a black lawn coin, but it's got nice specks in it so that it breaks up dirt and doesn't look so filthy when you go out and use it in the wild. And a little detail you can't see here, actually, is the foam layer that sits between, the lawn coin and the load-bearing floor beneath. If you're curious on which floor we did our own floor, the Serg Supply flooring kit, but this one has Havelock stuffed into the insulation frame instead of the traditional 3M thin slit. So there it is for the floor. Nice, beautiful, clean finish with a little bit of cushion if you're walking barefoot or working on your knees. Let's move on to some of the walls and ceilings. All right, so let's start off with the ceiling here, actually. This is our standard Serg Supply Sprinter 144 high roof ceiling kit. It does have the Go Code threshold trim installed front and back. If you aren't familiar with our ceiling kits, we do CNC cut them to fit this kit if you ask. It also comes with puck lights as a standard option. Now they did a max air fan in the front, no AC in the back. They might come back and do that later, but we're gonna see how far along we can get just using this max air fan. It's up here in bay number 2. As far as hardware is concerned, depending on the time of the, when you're watching this video, everything is black oxide instead of the old-fashioned stainless steel. And that brings us to our walls. This is the Serg Supply track wall panel kit. It's just some recessed L-track holding in the white wall panel material. The reason we went with white, or I think the reason we really wanted to go with white, was because it's a smaller van. It's not a 170, and we want it to feel as spacious as possible. And that white color helps open up and give it a little bit of volume. Now on the sides here, it sticks out like a sore thumb. You guessed it, van speed capsules with our pre-finished maple trim rings. If you're curious what those black things are there, those are magnets for the Van Essential window covers. And one fun thing that was requested on this build is his and hers reading lights. They come with USBs, they're nice and bright. And then on the bottom, in case those USB chargers weren't enough, we have his and hers USB chargers. Now you can expect it to be the same thing on both sides. There we go. We chose to mount an outlet here on the passenger side and ended up replicating for the driver's side and also putting our dimmers on that side there. That just about sums up the track wall panel kit and the ceiling kit. Those back doors will eventually be covered with the Vandermoon storage pouches, but boy, those are back ordered like 8 weeks. So we're gonna wait on them for a while. This van will come back to get those in, but everything else here you see is our standard white color with the pre-finished maple ceiling kit. Let's talk power system. I mentioned this is our standard build layout, our standard build plan. Let's call it one of our templates. This is our most up-to-date and standardized power system. Living inside of this container are 2 NG batteries from Victron. They are each 200 amp hours, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is at 25.6 volts. So if you do the math, step it down to 12 volt, you're looking at somewhere around 800 amp hour equivalent. This is a lot of power. This is a huge bank. It's going to last a long time off grid, and it's pretty damn affordable. We build all of these in-house. Shout out to Sequence Engineering. They're the ones who supply us with all these Victron components. And speaking of Victron components, this is where all the ugly stuff lives down here. This is our Lynx distributor, Multi Plus. There's some breakers in there. Nothing really worth looking at, but one thing that is hard to see. It's actually not, I'm not able to show it in this shot, but as far as inverters go, for all of our Victron systems, we switched over to 5,000 volt amp inverters. They're super slim. They do a great job and they'll power anything. The reason we went with the 5,000 volt amp, even though we really didn't need to, was actually the stove on the kitchen. Now, a 3,000 volt amp inverter will handle that stove just fine, but with 5,000, you can run the stove and then some. You can do a few other items. And that just about wraps up the power system. I don't know, there's not much else to show you there. Maybe one other note worth talking about is this is around the time that this video is publishing, Victron just released its new Orion 1400 series DC-DC charger. So now we're getting 50 amps from the battery when we're running. Now we downgrade them to 25 to 35 amps. I really don't like pushing things so high, but we have the wiring rated for 50, we've got the fuses rated for 50, and we have a power system built for 50. So worst comes to worst, we can always dial this thing up to 50 amps. Another beautiful part of a Serg Supply build out is everything's on Victron remote console or remote management, I think, VRM. Basically, if this van gets broken down or some error pops up, a fuse blows anywhere in the world, so long as they have internet access, we can get in, check the parameters, see what's going on, tweak some things, and get it back online. Before I dive into water, first let me show you some of the cabinets. This is our triple tapered kitchen. It's our standardized cabinet. We have our isotherm DR130 here. I'm not going to show his beverage of choice, haha. Spoiler alert, it's very tasty and you're not allowed to have it at work. But this is the largest refrigerator we offer in our cabinet lineup, let's call it. And the things that might stick out to you. Number one, there is our standard Serg Supply sink. That's all good and well. I know you guys have seen it 1,000 times before. Everything under here is meant to be really simple. We actually ran the plumbing down to a gray water tank. I'll show a little bit later in the video. Switches you see here, one is for the fridge, one is for the water pump, one is a dump valve for the gray tank, and the other one is a toilet fan. More on that later. And everything down here is basically pretty nice and tidy. One other note on this fridge, if you buy any of our triple tapered kitchen products, there is an exhaust fan that is just part of this unit. We always include this thing to pull hot air out so this guy doesn't have to work as hard. And then let's talk about something that we don't usually do. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a beautiful quartz countertop. Yes, this is real quartz. We had it cut specifically for this build. In fact, we modified the Murphy bed system to be just a little bit higher so that they have one nice, long, continuous countertop if they need it. Boy, did it come out great. I mean, there's obviously the argument that it's heavier, but boo-hoo, it looks amazing. The van's already super lightweight. We're using the lightest material choice we have here on hand. And more importantly, now they have a working two-zone stove. Let me turn this thing off before I hurt myself. But yeah, there it is. That just about sums it up for the kitchen. Not much to go over with the drawer boxes. I know you've seen those 1,000 times. Let's talk about this bed system. Cool thing about the Murphy bed system, you don't need to get our overhead cabinets with it. In fact, most of the sales we get for these don't have these overhead cabinets. Now the mattress isn't currently in here. This is set up without it. Let me pull this down and multitask here a little bit. There we go. Let's drop this. And let's drop this. Fantastic. Okay, excuse that strap. I did not secure it. There's the Murphy bed system. There's really not much to say here. It's not overly complicated. It's meant to sleep sideways, work with the Vanspeed capsules. And here up top, we have the Vandermoon storage bags. Now, they're currently full of their stuff. I don't want to open it up and show you all their business, but you've got pockets everywhere. There's shelves and pockets inside. We do love these bags. I am a big fan. And the beauty of this bed system is if you don't go with our cabinet, we do provide you these L-track pucks with D-rings so that you can mount your own cabinet there. And all you got to do when it's time to put it in bed mode is pick up your Kong strap, snap it in place, and there you go. Voila. Now the beauty of the water system we went with in this van is that that cabinet is completely open. That's 100% usable storage. They can put anything they want in there. Now, they've got some stuff in there already that I'm not going to show too much of, but one real benefit, well, I'd say let's start with the downside of putting water outside the van. It could freeze, but if you're not going places where the water is going to freeze or you're going to use induction heating to keep your tank and your water lines from freezing, something like this becomes a really valuable storage asset. All right, Speaking of assets, let me show you this thing. We have never built a bench for this toilet before. This is the first of its kind. This is a composting toilet, and it was a bit of a challenge. I'll be honest. We had to modify the toilet ever so slightly with the exhaust stuff going on. That switch you saw down in this cabinet earlier runs a 12-volt exhaust fan that lives under the van, and it sucks all of that, let's call it dinner fumes, out of the bottom. This enclosure is not something we're going to ever produce or release. This is a custom item for this build. We're not going to make it again, so please don't ask me. This is a very difficult toilet to do these things for, but if you need a composting toilet, this seems to be the top of the line. Goodness, I don't know. It flushes, it agitates, it vents all the, dinner fumes out. It's overall pretty wicked toilet. But one thing to note here, one of the main benefits of having a toilet here in your step area is that you can use this to climb up onto your bed. So you don't have to have a ladder or something like that. And the factory step does create, let me back it up here. Factory step creates a bit of an overhang here. So that's where the step extension really shines. Gives you all that extra space. And Lord knows if they decided later, they can put another bench in there, push this out, and now they've got all that extra storage space. Overhead cabinet time. Now, rounded overhead cabinets are where we got our start in the van industry. This is the first thing I'd ever created. We've since perfected it. They look fantastic. Let me get my ugly face out of the shot and show you more of these cabinets here. Look at these things. Goodness gracious. Now, if you're clumsy like me and you're bonking your head all the time, this rounded edge really helps. It's tough. It can take a beating. I promise you're not going to crack it. We have, in the last 6 years, had one cabinet crack, and we replaced it. But the rounded edge, it's real sleek. One little note you might not notice right out the gate is this is actually our arrow rounded cabinet. So it doesn't come down like a standard rounded. It actually tapers back. It's got a shelf on the inside. It looks pretty slick. Now, they wanted to match the 60-inch footprint of the kitchen unit here. Problem is, this is natural wood veneer. We can only bend the sheet this way, and our sheets show up 48 inches wide. So what we did was 2 larger sections here. I believe these are 24s. And then we did a little shelf in the middle so they can store some things. And get their stuff out the way. But there it is, 2 rounded 24-inch overhead cabinets with a little shelf to join them together. And that, ladies and gentlemen, just about wraps up the interior cabinetry for this build. Let's talk about a few extras that aren't part of the standard kit. Number 1, Webasto air heater. Love the thing. Have a lot of good things to say about it. Number 2, this is an Alpine Mechanism swivel seat. Goodness gracious, what a tongue twister. Swivel seat base. This is our first time switching from Scopema to Alpine, and I gotta say, I like this a lot more. It's definitely worth the extra money to pay. I would 100% recommend it to anybody who's on the fence on whether or not they want to get Scopema or this. 2 main reasons. Number 1, it doesn't make noises. I really like that. Number 2, the center of rotation, that gray disc right there, let me show you, it's offset, meaning it's not dead center in the middle of the chair like some of the other ones. It's set to the side, which means you have to do a whole lot less of pushing the seat front and back if you want to swivel. And oftentimes it's ready to swivel in whatever configuration it's in. So I really, really, really like that for that reason. One thing to note, if you are installing this and you have a manual e-brake, you're going to have to cut a notch for this e-brake drop bracket like I did. Now, I used 1/16 inch trim lock here to get a nice pretty look. And it kind of looks intentional from the factory, but expect a little bit of elbow grease getting that guy to fit. Let's pick ourselves up here to the top. This is a Van Speed headliner shelf. It's a standard part of nearly all of our builds. We really like the thing. And then, of course, up top is the wonderful headliner shelf cover. That thing basically stores, I don't know, first aid kits, your Uno card games, and all of your magnetic window covers that you're going to put in all the different windows here in the van. Let me move this bed out the way and show you what we got hiding back here. Bam! Hot shower. It's a Julka hot water heater. As a matter of fact, let's pause here. I'm going to walk around the back, open up the doors, and show you what we got cooking back here. Before I get back to the Julka, I cannot say enough good things about this stop-stay system from Canyon Adventure Vans. You literally just pull the handle, let go, and your doors open themselves without destroying you or anybody in the process. And ultimately, It catches the door if there's high wind. You don't have to worry about it crushing you and flattening a small family of 5. Now, Julka. Not much to say here. This thing's pretty wicked, but one thing, if you're going to mount like we did, pick up this bracket. This comes from Julka. It's a quick release bracket. You just hang the shower on here, and then they can plumb their Julka into their fresh water tank. It's got a 12-volt pump, that plugs right in there, and it's able to get you a nice hot shower whenever and wherever you need it. If you haven't been able to tell from all of the merch I've been wearing over the years, we're huge fans of the VanMart and VanSpeed, and it's not a signature Serg Supply build if it doesn't have VanMart and VanSpeed all over it. We'll go over the capsules in a second, but here on the rear, we've got one of their rear tire carriers. This particular customer wanted just a simple ladder, nothing on the inside, nothing on the side of the van, just a rear tire carrier ladder. It works for them. It's really fun and easy to climb on and off of. You've got the spare tire here, the spare tire carrier. This is just an add-on. It looks real good when it's done. I'm gonna scoot you over to the side here. Let's see if I can move. Bam. There we go. All right, so this is their mule carrier with the propane tank mounts. The same thing we ran on our build. It does the job. It's simple, it's beautiful, it's clean. Got a place to store your leveling blocks, all your shower lines, your shore power cable. It just all lives in here, and then you've got plenty of space to grow this thing and expand it as you continue on your journey. Oops, there we are. As you continue on your journey, building your van, adding things, this is a nice platform to just start with. Pro tip, if you're going to order these to put on your own van, get the hinges from the VanMart. Don't try to do this without them. If you need extras, we've got extras. Let's move on to the capsules. Bam. VanSpeed capsules, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we've decided to make the standardized wrap on all of our VanSpeed capsules. This really rugged, super thick wrap. Now, this is weatherproof. It's meant to take a beating. The gentleman in particular who does our wraps described this wrap as what he puts on his Jeep before he goes on the Rubicon. This stuff's really tough. It definitely costs a little bit more, but you don't have to worry about branches and things like that scratching your VanSpeed capsules. Let me actually walk around to the other side, show you what that looks like. It's a little bit deeper than the passenger side. There we go. Man, it's beautiful. There's not much else to say about it. It's a beautiful finish. If you're curious on the wrap or you want to get them wrapped by us for you, just reach out. We're here to help. We're happy to get it done. Moving right along here, we have the new VanSpeed Scout Rack. Plenty of videos about that already. If you want to check them out, go to our channel. We have a dedicated video for this rack of the install down at the VanMart. And of course, the Fiamma F45S awning. This was also provided to us by the VanMart. A little sneak peek on the deck there. I'm going to climb up and show you guys what that looks like and give you a closer look. There we go. So this is a Trex deck. We put it in ourselves. This was a beautiful alternative to getting some super expensive aluminum grating. Ended up not costing all that much. And there's a video on our channel describing how you as a DIYer can put something like this together yourself. My apologies in advance for the poor lighting, but I promised you I'd show you water. This is a 40-gallon freshwater tank from VanSpeed, VanMart. We have 2 hoses coming out the back there. One of them is a fill hose with a check valve, and the other one is a hose that both tees off to the front towards that sink, and then on the back it comes off and is Julka ready with a valve. As far as gray water up there with the dump valve, it's literally just a 22-gallon Northwest conversion undermount tank. The sink goes straight into that tank, and then we have a 12-volt actuated dump valve on the switch underneath the sink. Now this bad boy is going to come back later for wheels and tires, but it's worth noting we did install the Van Compass 4.3 kit. Here you see it in the front, it's just that extra strut, and then in the back, let's bring you around, we have the same Van Compass 4.3. Now, one thing to mention, we absolutely installed the Baja bracket up top. If I can climb under, I can show you the other one. There we go. This bracket on the bottom. So we're fully protected from anything shearing off. And of course, this kit did provide us with like an add-a leaf. So it's just a set of leaf springs that go underneath your leaf springs, and everything ended up coming together quite well. We're really happy with it. Shout out to Van Compass. It's on just about every single one of our builds, especially our all-wheel drive builds. And overall, the installation's really not that bad. It's not fun, but it's not that bad. One small feature, small but mighty feature I forgot to expand on earlier, is that our water tanks, excuse the shakiness, are all fitted with depth sensors from Van Life Outfitters. So thank you, Van Life Outfitters, for providing those. They are connected live and they give us the depth of our gray tank and our freshwater tank. Hello, myself in the reflection there. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this. It looks really clean on the GX Touch 70. I would highly recommend this route if you're going Victron for your power system. Now, a few things to note about this van that I think are unique. Number one, it's pre-finished maple and white predominantly. Part of this was they really love the color, but another part of this is it's really lightweight. We were really hard pressed to even break 9,000 pounds with everything in here, including a massive power system. The van compass certainly helps, definitely with that tip alarm, but it wasn't 100% necessary. You could have gotten away with all of this in your Sprinter 144 without having to upgrade the suspension, albeit would be kind of maybe a bit of a mushy ride. But everything else aside, this van is meant to seat to, sleep to. It's a very comfortable up to 2-week getaway for anybody who just wants to get out there in the wild and go live a little. The Murphy bed system gives the ability to store your toys, your kayak, your bikes, whatever you need to get out there on the road. And at the end of the day, you still have this massive, beautiful quartz kitchen top. So hopefully this serves as some good ideas for you guys as you plan your builds. If you have questions about this build specifically, leave them below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. And if you'd love to get in touch with us, just drop us a line. We're here to help, whether it be planning your own build or setting you up to have us build one of our signature layouts in your vehicle. Either way, I appreciate you watching this video to the end. Thank you so much and happy building.